And here we go on this Monday. Great to have you with us on this hot Monday evening in the city, the last day of July 2023. And as I was saying, I'm your humble host, Chip Washington. It is very good to be here. It's very good to be anywhere today. Any day above ground is a good day. Absolutely. So I hope that you had a good and non-eventful weekend, that everything went okay, and a lot of news popping off today and into the afternoon. But we're here for the next hour, and we hope that you join us for what I think is a pretty good broadcast. We will have some interesting guests and talking about some interesting things before it's all said and done. Now, all the business at the top is how do you get this fine piece of radio broadcasting, especially after another fine edition of Level Lola, which precedes this broadcast from 5 to 6 p.m. Each and every Monday, hosted by our own DJ Lola. Nice job again today. You can catch us a number of ways. Of course, we're on live right now, 91.7 on your FM dial, WYXR. You can also catch us on WYXR, the app, WYXR, the app, and of course, you can go to the website as well. You can also find us on the TuneIn app, and we are also on Facebook Live today. And when the show posts tomorrow afternoon, you can catch us on YouTube and, of course, wherever it is you get your podcast. Hold up. Let me turn my phone down here. There you go. So, as I said, glad to have you with us today. So I think it was like 93 degrees today. It didn't feel oppressive, but it's hot. There's no doubt about that. And the next couple of days from Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday, we're going to start to see the mid to upper 90s come into play once again. Slight chances of showers and things like that. So prepare again for the heat pump. The hot weather rules do apply because it is summer in Memphis, Tennessee. Our guest list tonight is as follows. Michelle McKissack, who is one of the Memphis and Shelby County Schools board members. She is going to join us in just a few minutes to kind of give us an update on some things. Today, speaking of school, the summer vacation is over for the faculty and staff in the Memphis and Shelby County Schools. They reported back today. Your children are off for one more week. When we see you next week, or when you hear us next week, everybody will be back in school, and everybody will be back off vacation and, kind of getting settled in, so to speak. But Michelle will talk to us about a number of things, the school superintendent search and the excitement of kids going back to school for another year. So we look forward to that conversation. A little bit later, we will be speaking with DeAndre Brown. Now, DeAndre is the director of the Office of Reentry for Shelby County. And, of course, this is an organization, he's been doing this for a long time, that basically helps individuals who once have been incarcerated, once they get out, trying to, refocus themselves into society and opportunities and chances to sort of work again and sort of reestablish themselves and sort of a second chance, if you will. He's going to be talking to us about a particular program a brand new program that they are launching. It's a training program, and I'm very much looking forward to talking with him about that. It's called Focused. Is this training program is 6 weeks, and it's going to it's designed to help formerly offended individuals with salary and some other things. So I'm looking forward to having that conversation. And a bit later on, the well-known pastor, religious leader around here, many of us know who he is, the Reverend Dr. Bartholomew Orr. He's the senior pastor of Brown Baptist Church. And over in South Haven, and he has written his second book, and he is going to come on and talk to us a little bit about why this book and what the inspiration was for it. So I look forward to having that conversation in the second half hour of the show. So there you are, caught up and ready to go, ready to roll on this Monday evening. Of course, we always kick things off by celebrating you. There are a lot of July babies around here, and of course, we like to shout you out. Anytime you can, make that another trip around the sun, that's a blessing and a good thing. So we like to shout you out and celebrate you, but I can't do that without saying, hit it, Bren.
Happy birthday!
All right. Happy birthday to Mr. Chris Malone is celebrating his birthday today as Lola works the chair up to the microphone. Also, Latasha McCray celebrating today. My boy Keith Caldwell, he's celebrating his birthday today. Wanda Wolf, happy birthday. Gwen Robinson Terry celebrating today. Let's see here. Camille Chavon is celebrating her birthday today. Happy birthday to Sarah Moore Simmons, to Lonnie Thompson, Rick Davis, and Kim Natasha. Happy birthday, one and all. Lola.
Yes, a very special happy birthday to my great nephew, Sean Williams II. Happy birthday. I believe he's 11. That's what, kind of a preteen there?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, young man.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you, and happy birthday to everybody. And I hope that we're here next year to celebrate your next trip around the sun. I hope your day is filled with fun and laughter. Thank you, Brian. So, there's a story that happened earlier this evening that we are making. We made national news once again, and there was a shooting at a Jewish school earlier this afternoon here in the city on the east side of town, happened about 12:30 or so, where a man was apparently outside the school. He tried to gain access to it, to the school. He was unable to do so. He did fire a few shots. No one was hurt. No one was injured in all of this. But obviously it caused quite a bit of a stir. They had their security, top flight security at the school, so no one was hurt. No one was injured. The school he was trying to break into was Margolin Hebrew Academy, which is a Jewish school. It was a white male. Apparently, he was at once upon a time a student at the school, so he did try to gain access there. But when he couldn't, he fired shots outside the school, got in his truck, drove away. The police found him 3 miles later. They issued a traffic stop. He got out of the truck. He had a gun in his hand, and well, you know what happened after that. He was shot by police. He is now in critical condition at a hospital. The TBI, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, is handling the investigation now because he was shot by a Memphis Police Department. But again, this story is already on the national news. I heard it twice on my way down here after 5 o'clock this evening already. We don't want to brand this, as some people are looking at it now, as this could be a hate crime against the Jewish community. And, I caution folks to get too carried away with trying to, brand something when they don't have the information, they don't have the, they don't know what's going on there. But in any event, I even heard a national news anchor say we could have averted a mass shooting. So, again, here we go. Let's just wait and find out what happened, but I'm glad no one was hurt. A death to talk about today. Paul Reubens. Many of you know him as Pee Wee Herman. He died today at the age of 70. No cause of death issue. Apparently, he was dealing with some sort of a medical issue. But he's Pee Wee Herman was pretty big at once upon a time back in the day. We know that he has transitioned on. And if you watch the show called Euphoria, which was a big hit, and I guess it still is a big hit on HBO. One of their former actors died today at the age of 25. I want to say his name is Argo. Apparently the news of his death has sort of rocked the community as well, particularly those who are big fans of that show, Euphoria. Once again, we mourn his loss as well. Last week, Thursday, we got a big press conference to announce the fact that the Department of Justice, the United States Department of Justice, is launching a formal investigation against the city of Memphis and the Memphis Police Department because of patterns of behavior that are happening. This, of course, following the tragic death of Tyree Nichols. And apparently there is a culture within the police department that is a bit troubling and causing some problems. As I've said on this show many times, we're dealing in the city right now. We're dealing with mistrust all the way around. We don't trust the law enforcement, and then we're dealing with a major crime situation here. So people are scared, they're frustrated, they're angry, they're seeking answers. They don't trust the police. So the Department of Justice is going to come in here and conduct a major investigation into this. And when it's all said and done, we will find out exactly what they found out because things do have to change. You have to change. And I think this is a big, big step in that direction. Now, let me just say this. Anytime the Department of Justice from the federal government comes knocking on your door, that's not good news. That's not good news. So when it's all said and done, we'll hear some very interesting things about this. They have also asked that the general public who has something to offer by way of a negative experience with the police department, contact the Department of Justice and give them your story as well. This could have long-lasting ramifications. Mayor Strickland said the other day that this could actually hurt recruitment of new officers. Of course, we're pretty short in that department. So we'll see what happens with this. But this is a very big deal. Don't think it's not, because it is. Germantown's water issues seem to be resolved for the time being. All samples, as of today, have come back clear. Now, Saturday, there were several people who said that they still, when they turned their water on, they still smelled an aroma of gas. But apparently all that has been cleared out, and everything is once again normal. So we will, let's hope that stays the way it is for a while, because I know the folks in Germantown were really going through some very big frustrations. A sinkhole has opened up downtown. If you're traveling down North 2nd, right around Madison, you can't get through. There's a huge sinkhole right in the middle of the street. So that area is closed. We don't know how long it will be closed, but it is closed for right now. If you don't need to go that way, don't, because you won't be able to get through anyway. Let me see here. I want to conclude this news brief by saying big ups and a big congratulations to Mr. Art Gilliam. If that name sounds familiar, but you're not sure where you heard it, he is the president, longtime president and CEO of WLOK Radio. He's owned that radio station for over 46 years. He is the first and only black to own a radio station in this city. And that still stands today, by the way, locally owned. He was inducted into the Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame in a ceremony that happened over the weekend in Columbia, Tennessee. I was honored to go up and be there and to support him. But that's a very big deal. To be inducted into any kind of Hall of Fame, because it talks about a lifetime of achievement and accomplishments, which he was certainly a part of. He was inducted along with 4 or 5 other people, and a well-deserved honor, absolutely, to be sure. So congratulations to Mr. Gilliam and all the folks over at WLOK Radio. With that, we're going to take our first break of the evening, and when we come back, let's get into the show. What do you say? On this Monday evening edition of Let's Talk About It right here on 91.7 WYXR. I'm Chip. You know who you are. Quick break. Right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
MIFA's Meals on Wheels program serves more than 700,000 meals to seniors across Memphis and Shelby County each year. MIFA depends on volunteers to deliver many of those meals, and the volunteers may be the only person the seniors see that day. If you would like to be part of MIFA's long tradition of service and to learn more about volunteering, more information can be found at mifa.org/WYXR.
Mississippi's independent record store, The End of All Music, has locations in Oxford and Jackson, Mississippi. Both shops are open 7 days a week, specializing in new and used vinyl records and CDs. Do your old records need a new home? More information at endofallmusic.com.
On November 17th, Minglewood Hall will host indie folk band The Head and the Heart. The night will begin with an opening set by indie pop artist Yoke Lore. More information regarding tickets can be found at minglewoodhall.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this beautiful Monday evening in the city. Chip with you. And of course, as I mentioned, this was the first day of school for the faculty and staff of the Memphis City and Shelby County schools, heading back in and getting cranked up and started and ready to go for another school year. The children hit the classroom next Monday. And with us tonight is a very good friend of the program and mine. She is a Memphis and Shelby County School Board member, and she is Michelle McKissack. And hi again, Michelle. How are you? Glad to have you back on the show.
Hi, Chip. Thank you for having me. I look forward to it.
So, we're talking again once again. A brand new school year is about to take off. There's been a lot going on between the last and this one, but I take it you're looking forward to another hopefully very productive year within the school system?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I always love the start at the beginning of a new school year. My daughter personally is starting 7th grade, and so we went school supply shopping with her, trying to take advantage of tax-free weekend, and always new beginnings. You always want to start afresh and anew. Yeah,
and I think that there's always an excitement now. During the summer months, or actually during the testing last semester, we found that a lot of our third graders did not meet the requirement to move forward into the 4th grade. But there were some opportunities during the summer, the enrichment program and others, for them to be able to do that. Are you pleased with what you've seen? I mean, because we do have there was quite a few that were able to be promoted as a result of that.
That's right. There were several avenues that parents could take advantage of for their children. They could select to participate in the Summer Learning Academy, where at that point they can get that intensive one-on-one type of time so that they can get their scores back up to where they need. They could take advantage of doing tutoring throughout the school year that would be coming up. And then for some of those who apply for, what's the word I'm looking for? Just basically an exception to the Tennessee law, and some fell into that category where they were approved by the Tennessee Department of Education to continue on to the 4th grade. So we had really good participation, and we're just, this is all a part of a new process that the state has mandated, and we're working through it to make sure that students are where they need to be academically. I
don't think anybody would argue the fact that COVID, for all of us, put a lot of folks behind the 8 ball in a lot of different ways. It's been a couple of years now, and things are starting to move back in that normal direction. Do you see us in particular as a school district starting to recover from that, the kids starting to recover and things like that? What's your take on where we were versus where we are today?
We've come a really long way from where we were. I mean, it was a really challenging time from like 2020 and then 2021. So just having graduations this year, it just for the first time felt something close to normal pre-pandemic levels, and not having to wear masks. So even just the physical aspect of it, it feels different. I think this is probably the first school year where it's starting to feel like it was before the pandemic. But as far as the impact academically, we're absolutely still feeling the impact of the pandemic, of a school district that was already, we're having challenges to making sure that our students are where they needed to be. And then the pandemic just really slowed us down. And not just here at Memphis Shelby County Schools, but all across the country, all across the state of Tennessee.
Sure.
And that's why the Tennessee Department of Education really wanted to implement this third grade initiative, because as you well know, it's like a student who is reading on grade level by third grade. Then when they get to fourth grade and beyond, they are, reading to learn, not learning to read.
So we couldn't have this conversation without talking about some of the issues that we had to deal with in terms of the process of selecting a new school superintendent. There's been a lot to this, I guess I should ask you right now. I think that you are. I don't want to jump into areas that I'm not familiar with, but where are you in the process? Are you starting to take applications again in terms of where's the board in terms of this right now?
I'm so glad you asked that, Chip, because there has been progress and work over the summer. It's like school may have been out, but the school board and school board commissioners have been very much at work on this process. Because as you know, we had not conducted a national superintendent search in well over a decade, since before, it went from Memphis City Schools to Shelby County Schools, now Memphis Shelby County Schools. So there's been a whole lot of time that's transpired since then. And of course, as everyone knows, this the past year has been, as we've learned and grown and listened to the community of what they were seeking, that's why we are where we are right now, where we open the pool up for more candidates for the superintendent search. So we're at a really good spot right now. I'm happy to announce the very latest information. This is really hot off the press. So This week, we'll be posting it live, all the criteria for a superintendent candidate for our school district. And so that's going to be happening right now. We had a meeting last week where we re-signed with our search firm that we have been working with. We worked through the criteria. That went on for several weeks as well. So we really have tightened this up, and we're going to start having community meetings once the school year gets back underway and principals and families have gotten settled into their school year in the next several weeks. Then we'll start having community meetings as well.
Well, that is that's some good news in terms of that. Now, for a while there, it was a bit contentious, and a lot of you members were kind of on different pages there. But based on what you just said, it sounds like there is cohesiveness now, and that everybody is on the same track, moving in the same direction forward to try to make this a very selection a very successful one. Correct?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was always the point of moving toward the same goal of getting the best person for this job. And there was a lot of change that went on. We had, school board elections this time last year. So we had 2 to 3 new board members to come on. And so, in fact, one was appointed, 2 were elected. And so that was a lot of upheaval. Anytime you even have just one new board member, that changes the entire tenor of the entire board. So that happened. And now we have another new board member who was recently appointed a week or so, 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So, but we went through a really arduous process, but it was a necessary one to make sure that we all got on the same page of what we were looking for, what the community wanted to hear, as far as how do we go about getting the best person for that. And I believe we're in a really good spot now for that. And I'm looking forward to the next steps.
Mauricio Calvo is the latest addition to your to the school board. I've known him for a long time. He's a fine man, and I think he'll bring a lot to this process. So as it stands now, and as we begin to move forward, is there a timetable? When would you like to see as a board the new superintendent announced and in place?
We will definitely have a new superintendent in place during this academic school year. It may happen at the beginning of the second semester, because what's going to happen now, so we're going to post publicly live this week all the criteria for the superintendent search and officially open it up for candidates again at that point. And our search firm will lay out all of that timeline. Then we have a website, supersearch.com, that will list all of that in detail. We'll line up when the community meetings are taking place. And we're going to be receiving applications, I believe, through like the end of October, beginning of November, so that we can then start the interview process. So, and then of course you'll have the holidays. So that's going to slow things down. So that's why I believe it'll be toward the beginning of the second semester when we'll be announcing this person.
Community input has always been a dynamic situation in terms of, because people are very passionate about, the young people in education and things like that. And it may sound like a silly question, but I'll ask it anyway. How important is it for the community to really be engaged and involved in this process?
I think it's very important. I mean, it's 110,000 students that we have, and that's impacting all the families that are associated with those students. And so the more we hear from a more diverse group of people, the more impactful we can be, because as board members, we are here to represent our constituents. We want to hear from families, and I'm one of them. I'm a parent of this district.
Sure.
I have 4 children. My 3 sons have graduated from Memphis Shelby County Schools. My daughter's going into 7th grade. So this is something, it's not just as a board member, I'm also a parent in this district. So we want to make sure that we are listening to the needs of families. And we know that this has been, a process that has been a little prickly, but when you're making a decision that's this big, one that hasn't been made in well over a decade, then therefore, there are bumps along the road, but we are learning from that and moving forward. And I really believe that we've got it pulled together now where everyone's on the same page. And I think the community will be pleased.
A lot of moving parts in this process, no doubt about it. And I think that, what you just said was, there are bumps and bruises. Nothing is smooth. Nothing is always smooth. I mean, there are bumps and bruises that you go through, but every experience, it should be a learning experience, which is kind of what you just said. Michelle McKissack, good friend. It's been we hadn't talked in a while, and I'm hoping best of luck as we begin a brand new school year, and for you all as well. Your daughter going into the 7th grade, and for you all as you select the next leader of this school district. Thank you for taking some time to come on the show tonight. I appreciate you.
Oh, absolutely. For anyone who wants more details, you can go to the Memphis Shelby County Schools website, scsk12.org. You'll find a link there to find more about the superintendent search.
My friend, thank you so much. And we'll be talking to you down the road for sure.
All right. Thanks, Chip. Always glad to be here.
Thank you so much. Michelle McKissack, ladies and gentlemen, member of the Memphis and Shelby County School Board, kind of breaking down this upcoming school year, including the search for the superintendent. It's always great to have her on. She is one who will always tell it the way it is, and that's what I appreciate the most. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to a young man who is leading a very special program. There are people out here who have fallen on difficult times, who have been incarcerated, locked up. The biggest issue when they get out, as they try to recapture their life and their family, is to reinsert themselves back in the community. Well, I'm going to talk to a young man who's going to talk to us about a brand new program that will help in that manner. This is Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
WYXR is supported by the Museum of Science and History, presenting Laser Live, which brings live music and laser light effects together for a live concert series in the Mosh AutoZone Dome at the Sharp Planetarium.
The series continues with Al Capone on August 19th. More information at moshmemphis.com. WYXR is supported by Memfo, presenting Green Sky Bluegrass at Minglewood Hall on Thursday, November 16th. This is an all-ages show and will include an opening set by Lindsay Liu. Ticket information and availability at memfopresents.com. Let's take it back in time to Cool Summers by Mint Cream Market. Shop with Memphis artists and makers alike. It will feature music from WYXR DJs every last Saturday of the month starting June 24th at the High Cotton Brewery, located in the historic Edge District. Thanks to Mint Cream Market, Memphis Medical District Collaborative, and WYXR. More information at mintcreammarket.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening. Checking the Facebook Live line. Sarah Gum is checking in this evening. My boy, Jay Worth, GKP, respect. He's watching us this evening. Patricia Rogers is also checking us out. This is Michael Harris, Audrey Hill, Kathy Mailer Salmon is watching us. And Bishop Charles Rogers, that is a great man. He's checking us out as well. Vanessa Jewel Hudson Brown as well. Thank you all for checking us out. And I want to thank in advance my next guest. This young fella is doing great things in our community because he has always been one to try to realize and understand that folks make mistakes. But that mistakes don't define you. He is right now. He's the director of the Office of Reentry in Shelby County, they are always doing things to let people know that because you've fallen on difficult times, you may have been incarcerated, things have happened. Your life is not over. Please welcome to the show, DeAndre Brown. And DeAndre, it's great to see you, my friend, and thanks for coming on tonight. I really appreciate you.
Good to see you, Brother Chip. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, the Office of Reentry, for people who don't know exactly what it is, what the function of the office is, I mean, it sounds pretty simple, but let people know exactly what your office does and its function.
The function of our office is to assist individuals that are justice involved or returning back to a life that is considered normal. Mm-hmm. When you have a conviction or when you've had some justice involvement with the system, it's very difficult because of the collateral consequences, and it becomes hard to navigate getting a job, finding a place to live, connecting with your benefits. Things like that sometimes become cumbersome. And we know that if individuals have already made bad decisions, it's easy to go back to that. So we want to alleviate that and make crime unattractive.
Well, and that is a major point. I know that there have been some efforts to try to help folks, who have been previously locked up in terms of expungement clinics and a lot of other things. But you are shepherding a new program. It's a training program. It's called Focused, if I'm not mistaken. Tell us a little bit about this program, why it was so important for you all to launch it.
Yes, sir. It's actually a revamping. Director Collins, now Chief Collins, CAO of the county, my predecessor, started the program, and it was on a weekend. With the help of the Office of Innovation and Director Inez, we've decided to make it more robust, make it a weekly thing, have an incentive so people want to be a part of it, and give men and women actual tangible skills on how to get jobs, how to retain jobs, but more importantly, how to become productive citizens.
Well, that's extraordinarily important. Now kind of lay out the concept of it. You kind of talked a little bit about that, but it's a training program. It's 6 weeks, I believe, and there's going to be it's a salary-based program, correct?
That is correct. Make $17 an hour Monday through Friday, 9 to around 2 o'clock. Mm-hmm. We'll be able to actually. One of the things I love about this work is when you get the chance to live life with people. It's one thing to have them sitting in the classroom and giving them information, but to actually interact with them in a way to let them know they feel valued and real. And then they will open up and share with you the struggle that they're having. And when we have a group setting like this, it allows them to also be teachers to one another.
So they're working, together, and they're working together based on what you just said, and I think that provides extraordinary value, and I mean clearly it's something that for you, is very, very important. I would imagine that there are a lot of individuals that you deal with or have dealt with in the past, DeAndre, that really feel challenged in the struggle in society, because for a lot of people, they feel like they've been written off. They feel like, nobody wants them. There really is no hope. Talk a little bit about what this does to really sort of boost a person's, capacity for once again being a useful and productive citizen in today's society.
I'll give you one of those small things that people miss. Generally, when a person applies for a job, there's a question that says, have you ever been convicted?
Yes, sir.
And when you check that box, you know that there's pretty much no hope for you to get that position. Well, we're different. We actually ask the question on our application, not to exclude, but to include. So if a person doesn't have any contact with the justice system, they don't qualify. So just to let them know that what they've done in the past in this program is what's going to give them entrance. So when they know that the actual infraction didn't exclude, it's what included them, we're able to start on a foundation of trust. And then we can move forward by getting to know them, letting them get to know us, and again, just living life with them.
DeAndre, is there an effort afoot by the county, and I'm not sure, I think I'm right about this, to remove that particular question from these job applications? Because for many, it doesn't seem like a very fair question.
Indeed. It's already been removed from the city. It's been removed from the county as well. So if you're filling out a city or county application and it's not for a first responder job, the question won't be asked until you've been offered a conditional letter of employment.
So, with this program and other things that I know you're working on, what's the end result? And this is an ongoing process, clearly. But at the end of the day, what defines success, or what would define success for you in a program like this? Because I think this is a really good continuation of what was once started.
Yes, sir. So the short-term, most tangible goal is to have our individuals that graduate gainfully employed. But for me, I see it as a broader picture for the community, because now the individuals that have been making bad decisions are the next future leader. One of the things that we challenge our men and women in our programming is to be who we are in spaces that we're not. So we can't be in all places at all times, but the training that we give them can. So we challenge them to be the person to pay it forward, because we took a chance on them. We need them to take a chance on us by supporting the work and being able to. I believe the easiest way to reduce crime is to change the behavior of a criminal. So if you get a person that's actively committing crime and change their behavior, you've immediately reduced crime. And the people that look up to them still see them in a positive light, but they see them doing things different.
This sounds like something that we need to see a lot more of, DeAndre. Would you say so?
Oh my God, yes. I believe that the problem, though, Chip, is it's so difficult sometimes to get individuals that have made bad decisions to see the value in turning their lives around, because this is going to be sometimes delayed gratification. That rush of criminal activity sometimes is like a drug, it's addictive. So we have to break that down in them and let them realize it's an advantage to being on the right side of the law.
It really is a cycle. What you just said was pretty heavy duty. It really is a cycle, and for so many of them, they don't feel like there is any other way to survive and to live. Rather than to work hard and try to go through and try to come out the other side of programs like this. But to continue, that's a very important component. This whole cycle thing, and what you're trying to do with programs like this and others, I would imagine, is just break that cycle and build that trust to say, look, we're not going to throw you away. We're here to help you and make them believe it, correct?
That is so true, because once they feel valued again, there's been so many men and women that have come back to me and said, Director, I appreciate you for turning my life around. I'm never going back. Because once they feel a sense of belonging, it's one thing to have been a part of a family, a part of a unit and lost that connection, but to then be brought back in and be seen as important and valuable and be encouraged again, people don't want to lose that. So what we do is we try to build it in our office first and pray that it carries on home.
Well, I got to be honest. I mean, these type of programs are really should be, the mandatory for any and everybody in terms to watch. What you're doing is you're setting a template that I would imagine other people you want other people to follow, and I think there is nothing more gratifying than to be able to help an individual who didn't think that he would ever get any, or he or she would ever get any help, and they turn their lives around. And what you just said earlier was about basically reaching back and teaching others and pulling them up as well. If we continue to do that, as a society and as a city and a county, maybe we can start to curb some of the issues that we see on a daily basis.
Indeed, hope is not lost, Chip. I tell you, we just have to be a little more vigilant. We have to be willing to engage them intentionally. We can't be afraid of people. We have to want to be a part of their lives and show them that it's a genuine care. We're not trying to teach them things. We're trying to pull out the best in them. And when they see that we're trying to pull it out, they will assist us in helping reach it, because many times they don't even know it exists inside them because they haven't really tapped into it before.
DeAndre Brown, my friend, I've admired you. When I see you, I always tell you how proud I am of you. I mean, it's extraordinary the work that you have devoted your life to in helping so many other folks. Extraordinarily proud of you. DeAndre Brown, ladies and gentlemen, he is the director of the Office of Reentry, Shelby County. DeAndre, man, thank you so much for coming on the show. And more importantly, man, God bless you for the work that you're doing. Keep it up. We desperately need it. And we desperately need folks like you.
Thank you, Chip. And if there are any employers that want to be a part of this and hire out people after, please call our office 901-222-4550.
Give me that number one more time.
901-222-4550.
There you go. DeAndre, thank you so much, my friend. And I'll be talking to you down the road, man. You take good care.
Thank you, Chip. Have a great week.
You too, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the type of story that you want to hear. Nobody should be thrown away. Everyone has value. Everyone has purpose, and God says that we all have something that we can give to other folks, and the work that DeAndre and the folks down there at Shelby County are doing is absolutely invaluable, and I'm really happy to have him on the show. We'll take our final break of this show. When we come back, we're going to talk to a very familiar face in the religious community and about a brand new book he has out on making us a better community. This is Real Talk Memphis. I am Chip. You know who you are. We'll take our final break and we'll be right back. Don't go away.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Church Health's Memphis Plan continues its decades-long commitment to serving local musicians with comprehensive health care and also tailors its focus to small business owners and the self-employed. Healthcare through the Memphis Plan provides care in Memphis for Memphians. Related services include preventative health, optometry, dental care, and more. More information regarding availability at memphisplan.org or at 901-272-PLAN.
The Sunset Jazz at Court Square concert series is back every second Sunday, May through October, featuring Memphis's top jazz artists at 62 North Main in downtown Memphis. More information and the lineup are available at sunsetjazzmemphis.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this beautiful Monday evening in the city. Very happy to have you with us. Very happy to have my next guest with us. He is very well known in the Mid-South community. He is a preacher. He is a teacher. He is one to be looked up to and admired. And I'm very happy to have him on the show tonight. Please welcome the good Reverend Dr. Bartholomew Orr. He's the senior pastor of Brown Baptist Church. And Pastor, it is great to see you.
Good to see you, Chip, as well.
So listen, before I even get started here, one of your members is on the Facebook Live line, family friend, and Jackie Woods Webb. And Jackie said, "Hi, Pastor Bartholomew." Or she is, and she's checking us out tonight. She's checking you out tonight. Is what she's doing.
I appreciate that. My favorite member.
Absolutely. Don't say that too loud. You get in trouble. You know that, right? So listen, you besides the busyness of being a full-time pastor, preacher, and teacher, you're also an author. You've written a book, and you have decided to write a second book. Tell us a little bit about that. Give us the title and tell us what the motivation was for you to write this book.
Well, the book is called Outside the Box. And several years ago, I preached a sermon about outside the box. And Chip, I literally preached it inside of a box.
Yeah.
And I eventually broke out of the box because Jesus, when he was here, he did not stay stuck and remained in a box, but he went everywhere to everybody and really doing his miracles and his ministry and taking his message. And so that was the thrust of the sermon and really the ideal of the book, that the church in these ever-changing time, we have to creatively think outside the box. How do we work outside the box and be bold enough to step outside the box to really make a change, not only in our church, but in the community around us?
So how do you do that?
Well, as a church, I believe, first of all, we have to stay true to the message of Jesus Christ. There's a lot going on in our community with crime, just economics, ups and downs, the political climate, and yet it's the word of God that ultimately will change the hearts of individuals. And that's the reason why I believe the church has the answer to what we are going through. There's a scripture that says, how can a young man clean up his ways but by taking heed to the word of God? So we have to be true to the message and champion the message of Christ. But then how do we mature and grow our congregations? How do we grow our members to being strong disciples of Christ that are not only changing themselves, but have the mindset of how can I go out and disciple others and change others? So that maturity piece, the message piece, and then how do we get beyond the walls of the church and do ministry? Every church ought to be letting their light so shine that men will see their good works and glorify the Father. So how do we get beyond the walls of the church ministry? How do we mentor this next generation? And then how do we take mission and do it locally, nationally, and internationally? And if you notice, I'm a Baptist preacher, so I like alliteration.
Yes, sir.
But those are 5 M's: message, maturity, mission, ministry, and mentoring. I believe that is the way that we become impactful as well as staying relevant in these times.
Pastor, one of the things that you said has always stuck out to me in terms of the church, and a lot of people have a lot of differing opinions, but outside the 4 walls of the church, that is where the community is, and it sounds to me like you are very much a proponent for meeting people where they are. Talk about that.
Well, that's what Jesus did. I mean, the scripture says he went from village to village. He was healing the sick. Matter of fact, they were bringing the people to Jesus when he showed up in these areas. So how do we go outside the walls? There are some things that every church can do that I believe that can really be transformative to our entire community. What could happen if every church adopted a school in their neighborhood? What can happen if every church decided that we're going to affect one family in the community? and that we're going to focus on giving this family some wraparound services so that they can truly change their situation. What could happen if every church advocate some of these major issues that we're dealing with, whether it is safety, whether it is just health disparities that are among us. And so these are just some baby steps, if you will, that every church can begin to do. And then we can have strong neighborhoods. We can get back to lifting our entire city.
If you're just joining us, we're speaking with Reverend Dr. Bartholomew Orr, Senior Pastor, Brown Baptist Church, and we're talking about his new book. It's called Outside of the Box. It's a very prophetic title, and you know, when you think about that, you know, our communities, and I don't presume to put words in your mouth, but in my opinion, very fractured. People don't really act like they care about each other, much anymore. A lot of us are fearful about a lot of other things. The single message in this book, from your perspective, in your viewpoint, is what?
Well, if we think about Jesus came full of love, showing that love, displaying that love, living out that love. It is because of his love that he gave his life for us. And what better way for the church to really exemplify the life of Christ as we show that same love and compassion to our fellow man. You know, Jesus said, look, by this shall all men know that you're my disciples, by the love that you have one for another. And so as we love one another, as we love our community, as we love our neighborhood, I said in a sermon recently, if we love people, we won't carjack them. If we truly love people, we'll show up at the school. We'll be involved in PTAs. We'll be involved in training this next generation. If we truly love people. And so that's what we have to get back to doing. And how do we do that creatively in these times that we live in?
And that is the challenge, and I think that you have challenged others and all of us basically. You know, we all have skin in the game. We all have a responsibility, is what it sounds like to me, is what you're saying, and that none of us should be excluded from that. Whether or not we need to get past our own egos, I think, and maybe some of our own fears and some of our own perceptions. And I think that's one of the biggest lessons. And then by going out and meeting people where they are and talking to them, and it sounds to me like that is really the message that you're trying to preach to us as a community. Am I correct?
Yes. Most definitely. We have to be proactive. A lot of times we are reactive when things go wrong. But how do we begin to be proactive in trying to impact and change the lives of our young people, change the lives of our seasoned saints that are among us? So how do we just be proactive? And there's so many ways that we can creatively. Times are changing so much, and we have to keep up. And matter of fact, not only just keep up with the times, I believe we need to creatively be ahead of the times.
Before I let you go, I would like to ask a favor. Would you pray for us as a city and as a community?
Most definitely, Ship, and I appreciate you, appreciate what you're doing. Proverbs chapter 11. Verse 11 says that by the blessings of the upright, the city is exalted, but it is by the talk of the wicked, the treacherous, that it is overthrown. And so we need more change agents like yourself talking about the positive change and what we can be doing productively to make a difference. And so, Father God, Lord, I do thank you for this time. Thank you for this privilege. And Lord, you have called the church for such a time like this. And you've asked that we be creative and think outside the box on how do we work with community partners to bring about a lasting change in our communities. And so I pray, Lord, for our city. I pray for the leadership that you will give them wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Give them vision for where this city is going and how do we get there successfully. I pray for all of the churches and nonprofits, for every business and for our schools and the hospitals, for all of our governmental agencies and even our police department, God, that your hand of protection and favor will rest upon us. You have a calling, a job, and a mission for each one of us. May we do it with all of our might for your glory and for the good and welfare of this city. We ask it all in Jesus' name. Amen.
And amen to that. Reverend Dr. Bartholomew Orr, ladies and gentlemen, Senior Pastor, Brown Baptist Church. Pastor Orr, thank you so much for taking the time to come on and visit with us tonight. More importantly, thank you for all you do for all of us as a people. And this book, I know, will be a blessing to so many folks. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Thank you so much.
God bless you. Thanks so very much, Chip.
Appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you end the broadcast right there. And, again, we have a lot of problems and we have a lot of challenges that we have to deal with. And one thing that we don't need to do is try to act like we don't have these issues, because we do. We need to face them. And as Pastor Orr said, we need to love each other. We need to take care of each other and try to support each other. And if we do enough of that, maybe we will turn a corner and change. And as we get out of here and Brent plays us out, I want to thank you all for tuning in, however it is you tune in, whether it's by radio, whether it's by Facebook Live, or however you find us. Please download the podcast. The podcast, of course, drops tomorrow afternoon. You'll be able to hear what you just heard on the show tonight. And please, more importantly, tell each other, share what we do on this broadcast. Because we don't just come in here and throw this thing together. It takes a little work, and we try to present the best guest to each and every one of you. So I'm humbled, and I thank you for your support and your encouragement. So for Brand, for Nicole, and for Lola, I'm Chip, and I'm out. Please take care of yourself and take care of each other, because it is so extraordinarily important. And as I like to always say, till next time, and we are out.